we mentioned a little bit about what we're hoping to do and spoke broadly about that. What I'm curious about is what did those community benefit programs look like in other states? So let's start off with Oakland. Do we have firm numbers? How much money was invested into the community? How many schools did we work with? How many workforce development programs existed? How much did we invest into technology? How did we work with the community, infrastructure, boys and girls? I'm just trying to understand, here's where we're starting off at. Here's everything we did in Oakland. And so that we can get a comparison to from what we've done before, because that's the track record, to the new partnership we're forming with Nevada.
Senator Yolanda King, for the record, I'm going to ask Ms. Aker to come up with exactly what they're doing in the community.
Please, thank you.
Catherine Aker with A's. Yes, so at a high level, some of the work that we have done. So we annually work with 1,600 nonprofit organizations throughout Northern California. And that includes financial donations. So that's everything from grants or gifts, cash gifts to them. We do complimentary tickets, we do in-kind donations. So we average about 1,600 organizations we work with on an annual basis. Our grants right now are about $1.1 to $1.3 million. And all of the money, we have a nonprofit. Our community fund is our our charitable arm, and all of the money that comes in goes out. So all of the expenses to our charitable fund are covered by the A's. So we try to break even. All of the money that comes in, we go out through our programs as well as our gifts. We have approximately 56 Little Leagues that we are working with throughout Northern California right now. That's 21,000 youth participate in our youth baseball and softball programs. That's everything from uniforms to coaching clinics to player clinics, free tickets, coming out to the game, scholarship programs, and things like that. As I mentioned earlier, 800 classrooms participate in our literacy and math programs. This year alone, we did over 1 million pages were read through our literacy programs. We also have a number of our players that participate, so they support our initiatives and volunteer, as well as our player-run initiatives in the community. We have given about $1 million annually to the food insecurity, to the food bank as well. No, I'm sorry, that's not true. I apologize, because it's not $1 million annually. It's $1.1 million worth of food to local food banks. We've volunteered over the last probably decade, about 20,000 hours in the community. And overall, about 250,000 youth have participated in our programs.
Thank you for that. And Madam Chair, I apologize that I'm taking up so much time. And I would appreciate, and I think this body would appreciate, and I think Nevadans in general would appreciate, if that's your starting point, if that's what you're doing already, I think that's something we can put into the NRS. Guaranteed 1.1 million in food banks, guaranteed 1.1 million in grants, guaranteed 20,000 human hours in this, guaranteed 15, because that's what you're doing already. And it lays a foundation for a relationship that's going to start where you are now. And it's not forcing your hand to do so much more, but it shows that good faith relationship. And it doesn't tie your hand to the evolving needs of the community, because unfortunately, food insecurity is something we're gonna have. And we're not saying which food bank. Community service is something we're always gonna have to do, and it doesn't say specifically which community organization we have to do it with. I mean, we're putting into the NRS very specific things that we're obligated to do. And we also just had a presentation with all these projections and these very specific numbers of how many jobs we think we're gonna create. I think on the other side of it, we can say that publicly, because I think when we talk about the community benefits program, we speak about it and we tippy-toe and we're so cautious. And you have in this room individuals who went through a negotiation on Allegiant Stadium. We did it through a special session, but I'll tell you, there was one year of humans having conversations individually with legislators at coffee shops. It was 1 year of individuals having conversations individually or in groups with different folk, different perspectives. And even with that 1 year, I'll tell you, the community benefits program that was promised was not delivered. So we are incredibly hesitant, not because of who the partners you are or because of what you're presenting. It has nothing to do with you. It's just that you have folk that were in this room and were promised a lot of things. And the community benefits program sounded great, but very little of it was actually delivered. So when you hear from us pushing back and saying we would love to see some of this in the NRS, it's not because we're suggesting that we don't trust the good faith efforts and we don't trust that we're going to have a great partnership. And that unfortunately some of us are just remembering what just happened a few years ago. And so for us, it's so important that if we have a partner coming into the community and that we invest all of this, all these resources, and that we do it in such an amazing way that I think we could have an incredible relationship, that we ask just for a little bit more buy-in, extending our hand with a firm foundation of commitments in this actual bill that extend beyond just saying community benefit program. And I think we can do it. You're already doing amazing work, and I am not minimizing what you're doing in Oakland, but I think if we can start there and put that in the NRS, it would start giving us, some of us, some comfort. And Madam Chair, my only last question, I would appreciate, not question, Madam Chair, more of a request. I would appreciate an opportunity for an actual continued conversation. And if we're not going to touch the NRS and we're not going to touch any of this, that an actual conversation, whether it be a press conference or a written commitment, where you lay out specific obligations that you've already said you're going to abide by for UNLV, for CSN, for certain nonprofits. Again, because that also allows us to hold you accountable in a relationship way, right? Because we want to hold each other accountable. You're asking a lot from the state. We will be held accountable too, but that we do it through something in writing formally, where the public will remind you years down the road, remember, we shook hands on this. And I think that's how this partnership just becomes a little bit more solidified, because we didn't have an opportunity to do it. You know, some of us are having conversations for the first time about this today. So I just, I would appreciate that, and I thank you for being here.
Section 20, subsection 3, it says, diminish the incidence of homelessness in and around the Southern Nevada Resort Corridor. And so I just wanted to, as you may know, there are downtown Las Vegas, et cetera, there are areas that feed into it. And for me, it looks like you're just trying to displace individuals, but I think that's something that you should consider when there are amendments to the legislation. And Chair, it's okay, so to just 2 more questions. With consideration of the Sports and Entertainment Improvement District, perhaps I'm reading the legislation wrong, and so if you can correct it for me. Is there a sunset provision on this district, and if there isn't, why haven't you considered such modification?
Senator Donate, Jeremy Aguero. The answer to the question is yes, there is a sunset. It sunsets when the bonds are paid off or 100% of the refundable tax, transferable tax credits are paid back to the state in full, at which time it reduces to about 10% of the amount so that the Stadium Authority Board can and oversee the project. It's the same general structure that was utilized in Allegiant Stadium.
Great, thank you. And then I don't know if the leadership of the Oakland A's. Thank you for being here.
Senator, yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you so much. Dave Kaval, president of the A's. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Good.
If you could restate the question, it'd be great.
Sure. So this is my final question. It's directly to you. So on page 39 of your presentation, you listed the tax revenue sources, and there's several tax revenue sources that will be included in the Sports and Entertainment and Improvement District. In one of them, you've listed the live entertainment tax, and that's something that is going to be captured. And so this question is directly to you as the leadership of the Oakland Athletics and your future presence. In the legislation before us, I find it a coincidence that there are funding considerations that will take certain tax percentages away from our county, and that's a problem. Having said that, I believe there's an equity issue that exists in our state, and I want to make sure that I get this from you directly. Given the gaps that we have seen in conversations we've had throughout this session, it is clear that not everyone pays for the live entertainment tax. For example, in my district, which is also where the stadium is going to be located, we have venues like Sand Dollar. It's a local bar that features live bands, and they pay the live entertainment tax. But considerations like yours, athletic stadiums or events, would not have to pay for it. So I want to get this just off on the record directly to you. Would you agree that it is important to maintain equity across all businesses and that you will commit to willingly pay for the live entertainment tax for baseball games and athletic events featured at this facility in the near future?
Well, I appreciate the question. Obviously, we're bringing the baseball team to Southern Nevada, over $1 billion in private capital. We're looking for a partnership, and we want to make sure that we're going to continue to invest in a variety of ways to improve the situation for small businesses, medium-sized businesses, in a variety of fashions beyond the live entertainment tax. So I think by bringing additional tourists and other ways that generate tax dollars for the community, we think our project can actually be a net positive for the community, plus the quality of life that comes with a baseball team.
Thank you so much for that. But that didn't answer my question. So again, it's a yes or no. Will you willingly commit to pay the live entertainment tax in the near future to fix the equity issue that exists?
Like I said, we are committed to being a great community partner in Southern Nevada and investing, over $1 billion to ensure
that still does not answer the question, sir. I'm asking you directly, yes or no. Will you commit to paying the equity issue that we see existence for the live entertainment tax?
The legislation as it's currently envisioned, does not contemplate that. The project is based on, what is currently proposed. And so we've been focusing on that as really the path forward for the team and for the community.
Thank you. I mean, I find that disingenuous. I asked you directly, you're going to be capturing this as part of your legislation, yet you can't even commit to doing it yourself. And so I think that's something that the taxpayers must know of this state, but I divert my questions for the next round. Thank you.